So the whole Dude Month theme, again, like I said to you guys offline, makes me think of the 90s. Makes me a little bit nostalgic for when people actually said that word and meant it. So I'm thinking of these games that I played back then, and it was limited to the NES for the early portions anyway. And while this game is not the best beat 'em up that I've ever played on the NES, it holds a lot of special memories for me. And I'll come back to that point about the best beat 'em up on the NES. So, did you guys ever watch these kinds of movies like Three Ninjas? Really
I
cheesy.
watched that like around my birthday this year at
Right.
in the hotel. It was
The whole
terrible.
thing was just like, kids pretending they could beat everybody up. So the game that I've got here is Double Dragon 2: The Revenge.
Oh.
And even though it's originally a
Ooh.
late 80s arcade game, it was ported to the NES in 1990. And this is one that I got to play with my older brother, got to play with my older sister. Co-op was the best way to play it, or if you didn't have co-op and somebody helping you, pop in the Game Genie. You're going to have a good time that way. So the whole thing about this game, you got a couple characters, and their names are like Billy and Jimmy Lee or something. I don't know the Double Dragon lore, but I think it's Billy and Jimmy Lee. And poor Billy, the opening scene tells you that his girlfriend was unfortunately killed by the shadows of an evil crime syndicate. It's the year 19 something something, and New York City has basically turned into a crime-ridden cesspool. So Billy and Jimmy, the two double dragons, they're on this quest for revenge to make up for his girlfriend dying. And now, as far as the actual game plays and goes, one of the best things about this game, funny enough, is the sound set. And you got these really crispy sounds that play whenever you deliver the punches and the kicks. Just a really satisfying sound, similar to like what people say about Genesis sounds. The NES has a little bit of that in this game. The looks and the presentation are fine. Like the color palette is pretty average, but the backgrounds that are behind every level, those are pretty cool. You've got some really odd references popping up. Like I'm not sure who it's supposed to be in Mission 3. It looks like a big bulky version of Danny Trejo, and then in Mission 4 or 5 you have like what's basically Arnold Schwarzenegger come in as the final boss, and he just had these ridiculous camo pants for the NES. So my siblings and I would like just call him Pickle Pants anytime he appeared. And
Nice.
you're just having like a lot of good mindless fun. There's some good mechanics in the game. Enemies will sometimes spawn with weapons, and so if you knock them around a little bit, you can make them drop the weapons. One really cool thing actually for the NES, I think, is that the enemies or even a different enemy can pick up that weapon if you haven't gotten to it first. You've got pipes, you've got flails. I think they're actually chain links. And later on, the weapons get a little ridiculous with dynamite sticks and ninja stars. All the enemies basically fight the same with the exception of those dynamite guys, and it's a fairly challenging game. But hey, beat 'em ups, whether you're good at them or bad at them, whether you get far, you don't get far. If you like that kind of game, then it's something you're going to enjoy. I think that pretty much wraps up the critique of the game and the review of the game. Going back to what I said earlier, when I said it's not the best NES beat 'em up, I was actually hoping that I could talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. And then I remembered it's a little bit, you know, really I would rather talk about Shredder's Revenge, which basically does that arcade game a lot better and came out last year. It'd just be a little disingenuous to talk about it because I didn't get to play Shredder's Revenge.
Hmm.
But I know I'm missing out there, and that'd be a fun one to like try to get my brother to play with me again over the holidays. But Double Dragon 2 at the very least holds its own as an NES title. A lot of nostalgic memories, and if you're looking for a beat 'em up, go for any of those titles that I mentioned. Double Dragon 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You're gonna have a fun time if you just like beating people up.
We never played Shredder's Revenge, right?
There's no documentation of it.
Can't be proven in a court of law.
Yeah, we played through that whole game and then lost the Twitch stream. We were supposed to upload.
Oh no!
Like a beat. So I can't
Yeah.
remember what month it was, but yeah,
Did you all enjoy it?
it was good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I will say
I was not the
No,
biggest
sorry,
fan. No, it was fun. It was passable.
he's not a true turtle fan. Get him
Yeah.
out of here.
Get him out.
What's up with turtles?
What's up with that? I will disagree though. I think the best beat 'em up on the NES is easily River City Ransom. But Double Dragon is
I didn't think
part
he's-
of the same series though. It's still part of the Cuneo.
Did you say what you thought the best NES beat 'em up was?
For me, it was the TMNT arcade port. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm.
I agree
And,
with
like,
that. I
you
think
were- you
that
gotta
is the
listen.
best. TMNT.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong?
How's it feel to be wrong, Spencer?
Why don't you fucking say that to my face?
Because it's River City Ransom.
That's a
if
good
people
game.
want to play, yeah, and if people want to play
Yeah.
that, I think it got re-released and remastered also not too long ago. So there you go. You got even more, modern day beat 'em ups to play.
Did you ever
Yeah,
see?
there's actually all the Kunio Kun games and Double Dragon games got bundled together.
Oh, okay.
Because like Technos owns like that's all the same series, Double Dragon and Kunio Kun and stuff, and like River City, it's all the same thing.
Mm.
So you could buy a collection with all the games.
They're all the same
Awesome.
game, the exact same game.
Pretty
Uh,
much.
Did you ever see the Double Dragon movie?
No.
Oh Lord, oh God, it's bad. It's not good.
It's got Alyssa Milano in it. This was before she
Oh yeah.
went a little wacky, but
Hell yeah.
she was always chef's
Mm-mm.
Hell yeah.
chef's kiss on that one. But yeah, no, it's apparently a really bad movie. I saw a little bit about it on Red Letter Media, but I never watched the whole thing myself. But yeah, apparently it's really bad.
Hell yeah.
I believe it.
It's called The Revenge, or Double Dragon 2. The
Yep,
Revenge.
: The Revenge. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's actually probably the best Double Dragon on NES. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
what do you think of the? Sorry, go ahead.
well, no, just one of the things, like a lot of those older arcade games, you do kind of feel like there's something in the way the game plays, there's something in the mechanics that it's like, oh yeah, when this was in the arcades, it was definitely one of those coin grabbers. Like you're just meant to constantly dump the coins in. But I mean, even as a kid, I never had the worst time with it. Like I'm mentioning level 4 or 5, whenever it is that this Arnold Schwarzenegger character comes out. That's about halfway through the game, so it wasn't the worst thing to play.
Those
do you think about
cameos
the,
make me think of like Shinobi too, because like I guess it was Revenge of Shinobi. They're bringing in like Godzilla, and I think there's like I don't know. There's like kind of the I forget
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man's in there, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Gary?
What do you think of the weird jumping with the pushing the both buttons to jump?
I never got the hang of how to do like that super knee attack where you're supposed to basically do a jump, land on the ground, and then when you come up for a second jump, you deliver. Sorry, guys, my camera does that when I put my hand up. And it's the super attack where after doing one jump and then a second jump, you can basically clear enemies off the screen. It even plays, I think it plays a different sound effect too, like when you send them flying. The jumping was wild, but I did spam the jumping spinning kick. That was pretty good.
Did you ever play the Streets of Rage games?
No.
Good man.
No, the only beat 'em ups I've played are like Golden Axe, Double Dragon, Turtles, and probably a few more that I can't remember, but no Streets of Rage.
Okay.
They would run laps around this game.
Okay.
1 and 2 are pretty solid, and they're co-op, and yeah, they're visually striking. I mean, I tried the first Double Dragon, and after having played the Streets of Rage games, it's just like, I don't know. I maybe I played the wrong one, but I think it was like going around a city, and I was like a little lost.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long you guys want to go off on this little tangent, but I feel like beat 'em ups, shoot 'em ups, and a few other genres like that, you either are drawn to them and you enjoy playing them, or it's just kind of you experience because of nostalgia, or there's something you want to see because your friend mentioned it. And for me personally, like those genres are not that I dislike them, but they are at the bottom of my list. So if it wasn't for all these really strong memories of how we used to play together, my siblings and I probably would have been picking a different game today. But that said, for its nostalgic merit, I do like it.
Okay. Oh, we just picked you
I've
because
never
you're a
thought
really
about
cool
ranking.
dude, So that's at the end of the day.
I've never thought
you're
about
here,
ranking.
Billy and Jimmy Lee, these are the two doodliest dudes you can get on the NES, okay? They kick those Mario Brothers butts easily.
Hold on now. Come on.
I've never thought about ranking genres before. That's an interesting thought.
Not even ranking them, just what do you like more? And I kind of know where my top 3 to 5 genres are, just based on what I play the most and what when I finish a game, what I want to play next. And it's never a shoot 'em up. It's never a beat 'em up.
What about sports games?
It depends on the game. So it's also at the bottom, but the ones that I have liked, and these are usually experiences with friends as well. They're right up there with like some of the best gaming times that I've had, game experiences I've had. Yeah.
What about visual novels?
I gotta keep giving the same answer for every genre you ask.
Bottom of the
ones that are
list.
great. I'll play with my friends.
Not in my top 3 or 5.
You guys agree with that assessment though, where like they are a little more niche and you either love them, not love them or hate them, but they're more unpopular for a reason, and it seems like the fans of them are diehard fans of them. Love shoot 'em ups. Oh my god, dude. Gradius, oh, it's the best game ever.
Yeah, well, I agree. But I think all those games are trash. Beat 'em ups, shoot 'em ups. They're like these little arcade games that they port over to consoles, but it doesn't work. Like
Mhm.
No, it does. See, that's the thing. I'm an arcade guy, so this is right up my alley.
I played I went to a friend's house and he's like, I got Metal Slug on my like Raspberry
yeah.
Pi,
Oh,
and I'm
Metal
like,
Slug.
okay, like that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool if like we had any stakes in the game, like we had quarters and we had to put them in. But when you have infinite continues and all you do is just press the X button to keep going, there is no game. It stops being a game.
That,
it just becomes like a bullet
I agree with
sponge.
that. I think that when you
Spence,
convert them to console, like you have to do so delicately,
Mhm.
because otherwise it's pointless. I had that problem when I had the Metal Slug anthology on Wii.
Yeah, you're just a bullet
Because
sponge.
it's like, what am I doing? I had that problem with Raiden 5. It's like made out to be this really intense shooter, but I could just press start when I game over, and it's like I've already used like 30 credits
Yeah.
to get to level 5, so I'm just kind of the game is playing itself at that point. That's
Yeah.
how I feel.
Yeah.
Alex, what draws
Spence-
you to them though?
well, I was gonna say, Spencer, if you want, we can play Metal Slug, and you can just give me a quarter every time you die. If that makes you feel better, if you want to waste your quarters.
It
Cool
doesn't.
stakes.
It doesn't.
I just like arcade action. I'm a fan of simple like Atari style games. So
Mm-hmm.
that sort of stuff
Uh,
draws me in.
Our question minister actually said something in a recent video that was pretty interesting, and he goes to those types of games. Can't remember exactly which genre the other, but when he just wants something to relax, doesn't have to use his brain to think too much about the game. He can just kind of play it, maybe have something else in the background. Sorry, BioPhoenix mentioned this in one of his videos. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's kind of like, I see it as like a different type of grinding. I would rather maybe play like an RPG with my brain off and just do a mindless task there. But I see how playing a beat 'em up is basically the same thing, right? A little bit less cerebral, those games. Maybe they're for more relaxed gamers. I'm not trying to put them
Just
down. I'm
calling
just trying
those
to
gamers
think.
stupid.
No.
He says
No.
it. And we can quote him on this. I think he says that people that like beat 'em ups are dumb.
Well, I'll just add before it goes back to Alex that maybe, these are the games for people who really, when they want to play a video game, it is just pure relaxation. They don't want any stress from the game because the reason why they're playing it is everything else is too stressful. I don't know your thoughts on that.
Alex,
Nah.
Just play it because it's
Get
fun,
outta
right?
here. Yeah. Sometimes I don't want to worry about an RPG where I'm like, what happened in these last 50 hours of playing this game? I want to play a fucking action game where I'm like,
Mhm.
hell yeah, I just blew up some shit. That's awesome.
I guess one interesting thing and where the genre gets a little more interesting for me now is as people are making them for like, the modern ADD riddled gamer, you've got later on I'm going to check the title of this one, but there's one where you've got a cast of 4 girls, and in the game you're going to you pick one to start out, and you're going to be kind of adding them to your party as you go, and they've added on RPG mechanics. So one of them is a gunner, one of them is a technician, an engineer, and they can set up turrets. And what makes it more interesting for me, and plus it plays top down, but I don't think that necessarily matters for making it more fun, is in between the levels. You go back to your little hub, your campsite, and from the enemies that you've beaten, you can take that collected currency and use it to level up. For example, on the engineer, I'm going to make my turrets do more damage, or I'm going to make my lobbed grenades explode in a wider radius. So it's like, oh, okay, you take some of those mechanics and you add them to an old game like a Double Dragon or like a Streets of Rage. Now you're talking. Now there's just a little bit more for me to play around with. If you guys are interested,
Yeah,
I can find that title for you.
They just did that. River City Girls is basically the Double Dragon, but with RPG mechanics.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So
I like beating people up. What can I say? You know.
get him! Get him!
Hey you guy right over there. Look at you. I like doing what I can't do in real life in a video game. No, I'm joking.
Oh, yeah.
No, there's truth to that.
Yeah, no, there's charm. There's charm to beat 'em ups, and I'm not particularly good at them, like those old school ones. But I do think there's something gratifying about the one and done. And you know, with some of the older ones, I mean, I can't speak to Double Dragon as much, but like Streets of Rage, you know, it is limited continues, so you do have to play pretty well, and especially with your partner, you have to make sure you're not like eating each other's apples or like you know, wasting your special. So there is some engagement. Double Dragon 2. I'll give it a try. I have that
Yeah.
collection.
Going to be one of those games you just
I
pop
have.
in for 5-10 minutes and it's like, cool, that's what it's like.
That's actually the only one I have on cartridge. Is
Oh,
2.
nice.
What does it look like?
got-
Like an NES cartridge.
Two
It's got a
dudes.
big Roman
muscly-
numeral 2 on the front.
Yeah, and he's
Aw.
got a big muscly dude in a cool action pose. He's like, his
Okay.
chest is out and stuff. He's like, yeah.
It's high on the dude meter.
Dude verified. I can verify this.
Verify that dude.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.